This is a HeadGum podcast.
There's no way. That's too many.
Hey guys, welcome to Dynamic Banter.
Oh, it
Too
cut
many.
off so quickly.
Too many
There
Christmas
wasn't
episodes.
even a fade.
Oh no, this isn't that type of podcast.
No, I
Do
don't.
you always have that like proud look on your face when you
Yes,
do
of
the
course
intro?
he does.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm proud
adorable.
of this show. This
Yeah.
is our show. Mike and I, this is our show.
It's such a nice moment though when
People
you turn
really
it on, you
love
kinda,
it.
Do you guys
perk up
know
a
what
little
it's
bit.
like to have complete ownership of a show? Guys, welcome to Dynamic Banter. This is going to be quite an episode because we have a historically hilarious group of gentlemen and ladies on this podcast.
Lady.
Well,
Mike, I get it.
Mike has an announcement later on the podcast.
That's a little. All right.
Foreshadowing.
Mike.
Foreshadowing.
Women are wonderful. Embrace
I've heard.
But
I watched the
guys-
Golden Globes. I've seen all of it.
We are today. We have special guests Elliott Morgan, Lee Newton, and Joe Bereta, and who are of the ValleyFolk.
Yay!
Thank you.
Oh, that's good. I actually really appreciate that.
I heard your teeth in that.
What an insane
It's
thing
so
that you
much-
guys do.
It's so different when you're sitting next to it and it's happening.
Welcome,
Yeah.
welcome
think
to the
it's
podcast,
worse.
guys. You know this is Joe's first time.
This is my first banter.
Well, this is your first banter too, Lee, right?
I did something.
Oh, no, that's
I was
right.
Penny Marshall.
Lee was Penny Marshall on our
And
big
I
commentary.
had so many people that tweeted me and were like, "Were you Penny Marshall?" And I denied it, and it
Yeah.
was my favorite thing to deny.
Yeah.
Period, because I'd be like, "I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about."
breaking news
Like, I
on
don't.
this banter.
Well,
You
now
were
it's
Penny
different.
Marshall.
Yeah,
But
I mean, we
I
haven't really
say
admitted
yes
it,
to
but
some
you, but
people.
it
I
was.
was very, and also,
was
what
very
was my?
you.
I was like, "I'm Penny Marshall."
It was so great, especially when we were like feeding you pizza at one point. I was
I'm
you're
Penny
like,
Marshall.
Give me this slice of pizza.
And it's like, I mean, I've listened to her. She doesn't remotely sound.
Every impression that goes on for like an hour and a half usually starts as the impression, and then about 5 minutes later, it's whatever. you feel comfortable.
It either becomes like Gilbert Godfrey or a child.
I'm Penny Marshall.
So, guys, the reason why we have all these lovely gentlemen and lady on the program today is because some of you may or may not know that Joe, Lee, Elliott, and I have started a new comedy thing called the ValleyFolk.
Hit it. Yes.
Mike's pretty upset about it.
Mike, no, that means
No,
Mike's
that means
happy.
he's happy.
Oh, okay.
Don't tell me how I feel. I've
Oh, okay.
been very upset about this since.
Oh,
day
I'm
one.
sorry, Mike. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You want to air your
Don't
grievances?
tell me how I feel. Let Elliot tell you how I feel.
I thought that was the happy mallet, apparently.
I actually haven't decided yet.
There's
How
barely
you feel?
anything happy about that
Whatever-
mallet at
no,
all.
just what happens with the mallet.
Got it. Okay.
I'm very happy about the ValleyFolk thing.
Thank
I
you.
do
exciting,
love
thank
the
you.
decorations that you guys have done.
Jar
Thank
of
you,
babies.
Mike.
I mean, I
candles of
didn't-
babies.
It's a candle full of babies, and then a couple of candles that aren't lit. No idea what this thumb is.
It's all very on
Yeah.
purpose. It all.
So,
Okay,
where
here's
did you
this,
shoot
listen to
this stuff, Penny?
Where did I shoot it?
Yeah.
This is actually on the Warner Brothers lot currently. That right there is a little beautiful town.
Hey.
That was Lee. That's Lee as Penny Marshall.
You didn't even cue up the clip.
no.
No.
Oh God, no.
No. That's not what this kind
No,
of.
we
That's
don't
not
do
how
that.
this show
It's
works.
not one of those podcasts.
It's not one of those podcasts. So we did the commentarium was a short-lived idea on Dynamic Banter,
Very short.
which isn't dead, by the way. Is
Okay,
you like
good.
that? The
I love
commentarium.
that word. That needs to be used for something.
Well, I think it's a show that really
was
still.
twice.
I mean, I think.
That's the third time that word has ever been uttered.
I think
We also watched a full movie together.
We
while
watched
I
a
was
full
doing
movie
that.
together.
It was a lot.
There's 20 minutes
What's your
of
favorite
just silence
flavor
when we're
of
enjoying it.
Oh, are you kidding me right now? I love a good beet. I love a good carrot. Oh yeah.
That's
good.
Lee
You get you like that
as
stuff?
Penny Marshall as an old door.
You can send someone out to get you a juice if you want.
Oh, I would love a Robux juice. Do you have Robux juice here? Oh, Mercedes.
All right.
Why would we have a Robex in the apartment?
Mercedes.
I want to make so much love to that Penny Marshall.
Yeah,
I
that-
know,
that
right?
actually tracks.
Let's get this out of the way real quick. Let's talk a little bit about ValleyFolk, and then we can move on and talk about the garbage we usually talk about on this podcast.
I'm really excited about the
But
garbage.
Joe, you're a professional man. a professional man who is kind of the I would say the ringleader
Damn it.
of the ValleyFolk.
It's too much fun.
What is the ValleyFolk, Joe? Why don't you tell us that?
Oh gosh, what is it? It's us coming together and living the dream. 2 mics on a podcast. I got 2.
It's like a
mics
press
on a
conference.
podcast.
Don't let me distract you.
2.
Third mic
on a pod.
next to me.
Why am I the
got 2.
third one, man? It's my
You can be the
podcast.
first one. Well,
Can I
so-
please have something?
Man, I'm not trying to offend. I'm not trying to offend. Look, if the dream is getting to make content with friends, and I hate that word, just come together and laugh for a job.
Friends.
Boom. Laugh for a
Friends.
job with your friends. That's what we're trying to do.
Exactly.
Well, you've done it. Because you opened up a Patreon. It's doing real well.
Yeah.
You guys are all,
Patreon's
I don't think you'll
doing
mind me saying this, dirt rich.
Dirt.
Sure.
I think
No.
you can speak for all of us.
I didn't know you could put a pool in a complex where you're renting an apartment, but you
Is-
guys have all done it.
Is dirt rich like middle class?
It's not filthy rich. Filthy rich is
Oh
stupid
no, I
rich.
don't think
Yeah.
it's even dirt
You don't think-
rich.
Dirt
No,
rich is just having a
no.
regular amount of money.
I thought it was just we have dirt.
we
We are dirt.
We
rich.
got dirt.
You
We
need
are-
dirt?
In all fairness, I did start with dirt.
Yeah, filthy rich is
So-
quite the visceral phrase.
It
isn't
certainly
Like,
is.
what's above filthy
Filthy
rich?
rich.
You are pedophilically rich.
If I can get a bit analytical here with you guys, we have 4,189 patrons.
Hey, you guys are amazing,
On
patrons.
Patreon, and
You
that's a
guys are
lot of you.
amazing.
A lot of people listening to this are patrons
Yeah,
of
thank you.
the ValleyFolk, and I want to thank you all for that.
Just wonderful.
I do want you to know
There's
that.
actually an audio representation of the graph of your Patreon.
Could
Did you
you-
want to take a look at it?
Yeah, let's
like-
take a look
Can
at it
you,
here. Let me
can
pull
you
it up.
maybe
This
go
sounds
over
like
the?
it.
Can you maybe
Yeah.
go over
Hang
the
on.
dates?
Lee, will you
pretty-
turn
So
off
you
the light
started-
really quick?
Yeah.
What date did you start on?
We started. What date did we start on?
So that's when it started, right?
Okay, I think it's a little early for the bit.
And we closed it down 5 minutes, and then we
The bit's
reopened.
not here. Can I? May
And we
I?
closed it back up.
May I?
Yeah.
What day did we start the Patreon?
Let's just say on
Monday.
Monday.
Monday, and we were at nothing. And within how many hours were we at?
48 in 24 hours, we got 3,000 patrons.
So that was so. If you look on the graph,
First day looks a little bit like
yeah, let's look at the
this.
graph.
Nope. Yep.
Yeah, there it goes a little bit.
That's the one.
It
Yeah.
took you a while to find the bit, didn't it?
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting blamed over here.
anyway. So
Honestly, I do love that. Like, I will run into people that are such huge Dynamic Banter fans, and I love when they're always like Dynamic Banter, and they're like quack 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 quack, and I'm like, what? And they're like, it's an inside joke. You wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't. And they're
There's
like,
a-
you know, Bob's to your babies, and I'm like, I don't fucking.
yeah.
Let's talk about anything else.
There's
It's
the
my
assumption that
favorite,
because
though.
we're friends, we actually listen to this shit,
Oh,
and none
yeah.
of us
Yeah.
listen
Yeah.
to
There's
it.
no
Well,
way.
we all barely
We
have
all
any
hang out for
time.
that.
We have
Yeah.
barely any
I
time.
have plenty of time. I'm not gonna, but I
but
don't.
we have barely
I do.
any
I have
time.
turned on some episodes, and what I will watch is like the animated things. and,
Oh, there he is.
Door?
What do you mean? Too old?
Who said she was too
Oh,
old?
the the network, the society, all of it. And I said she's gorgeous, she's beautiful, and really what it came down to
Mercedes
is
right now?
Elizabeth Perkins couldn't act her way out of a goddamn paper bag. So
Honesty. Little honesty coming out
So
there.
anyway, so Mike, how are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love your morning show.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
talk about
It's
the morning
so
show.
good.
It's awesome.
I'd like all you on the morning show.
I have
was-
been on the morning show.
You have already.
and I
so you're all
want to be
set.
on it more.
Well, you could be on it literally any time. That's the fun
I
thing
highly
about it.
recommend you do because it's just kind of like a playground for some really fun character work.
There's a new segment on the show
Work.
that came out today called "Drinking Water in a New Shirt."
Wow, I love it.
Wait,
Do you
my
have a
favorite thing we've
sponsorship
done.
yet, or are we going?
Well, that's the sponsor.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So,
Mike, you open. I don't know if this is how it opened, but I saw your Instagram post about how somebody spit on you.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
This is the
Can you
8th
talk
podcast
about
I've
it?
talked about this. I'd rather not. What if this was the only time I was like, I'm not gonna.
I mean,
I'm not gonna
listen,
comment on
you don't
that.
have to, but definitely watch Mike's morning show, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Human being spit on me, and I almost got into a fisticuffs, and then I was dragged away by my wife. And then
Wait, this really
no one's in
happened?
jail. Yeah, it really happened.
Yeah,
you
you
don't
like-
tell a story 8 times without it really happening. You
Well, it
know?
changes every time, doesn't it?
Walk us through.
If I took every instance of this story you told, would every detail remain the same?
I fought everybody else in the line except for this person to teach him a lesson, to kind of get him real nervous.
All right.
So
Your
what
wife
happened?
took
What
you
hap-
away from
what-
that
I mean, I think you
Yeah.
kind of have to.
But that's
you
like a
have to
very
tell us
shocking
now. I'm
Zoya thing
sorry.
because I feel like Zoya would have wanted to.
If
also
there was
end
spit
that
on
person.
Zoya, it would
She
be
would have destroyed
done.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Everything would be
ended
on
up-
fire.
Oh yeah, Zoya would be in prison.
We're all
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
emotionally
She would be in
invested.
federal prison.
And she would be fine with it too.
Yeah.
Oh, she'd be the king of the prison.
Yeah, I gave 6 tattoos today.
and she'd understand why
I like
she's
how
there.
Zoe
And she'd
just
I run a
like,
shank
"Go for
business.
I gave 6 tattoos today.
Did you know you can literally make a shank out of anything and everything?
Watch this. Just grabs the nearest person.
guys,
This shank. This shank.
this is a true story really quick. When I went to Catholic school, they used to do those stupid, like, now I realize it's like Scared Straight
Yes.
type stuff. But when I was in Catholic school, they used to take us, especially because we were kind of like the bad class, and it wasn't because of me. I mean, I didn't help.
Guaranteed it was.
But no, there were like bad kids. There were kids that were like gangbangers, like very bad. Like none,
The
like
bangers?
we didn't earn any field trips. You know how field trips were earned when you
Yeah,
were in
privilege.
school?
That's a
It's a privilege. We didn't get any of them. We were like the one class that didn't get a field trip, like for an entire year. And so, because we were so bad,
You
and
guys
so,
can't go to the Loom Factory.
but I'll tell you where we did go. We went to juvenile hall to one of those, like, we all go and we take a field trip to juvenile hall, and it's like, this is what your life will be if you
That's not
keep
a
doing
field
this
trip, that's
shit.
a last resort.
I mean, it really is. It's just Scared Straight stuff, and I don't know if it was just like a Catholic school tactic to, like, I don't know if this is something that they just do
Guaranteed.
at Catholic
Hell
schools.
was not scary
Like,
enough.
right? Hell's not, the concept
Eternal
of hell's not scary
damnation
enough.
was not.
Well, because prison's real, Joe. Anyway, so
Was that a knock on religion?
Let's go to the resident expert on
Was that a
religion.
knock on religion?
the resident expert
I was
on
looking
religion.
at the little googly eyes on the VR on the PlayStation. I'm gonna have to defer to your conscience.
Oh, Mortimer's here.
I don't know what
Okay.
happened.
Mortimer's here, guys.
I think it's
So
adorable.
does he have something he wants to say, or he's okay?
Okay, well, he's just.
Mortimer, were you ever in a religion school type situation? Okay, well, did you have a good time there, or can you describe your experience? You'd rather not. All right. Well, it was a
This
tough
is a
time,
really
and I don't
easy-
mean to upset you at all. And
Wow, Lee, that's really good.
That's good.
Can we do another podcast later and then you fade in her doing that?
Yeah,
randomly?
yeah. Can I just get a clean version of you doing that
Are
so
you
I
ready?
can have a clip?
oh, you're starting to get him upset a little bit. Okay. Well, it's not.
Encroaching on his brand.
This is what he does. He gets a little
That's
upset.
for a dog.
Well,
I'm
Give
sorry.
that to a dog.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
What?
Is there? What's the story behind Mortimer?
Mortimer was sent to us via PO box, and he appeared on the last episode. His first appearance was on the last episode, and he
Such a delicate.
right.
he interjects.
sound.
Yeah, he interjects.
It's so gentle.
It's calming.
But anyway, so I went to we went to a juvenile detention hall, and speaking of shanking and what can be a shank, we had these different speakers. Like, so we were all piled into this like rec room or something at the juvenile hall, and then like these like
everybody hold on to the foosball too.
and dude, definitely,
Chill on the foosball for a second.
definitely,
We gotta scare these kids.
Donnie,
the
no
sp-
more foods.
definitely the people that
Randy's
came in to speak to us were all like the good behavior people.
Yeah, they're like, let me put down my knitting for a second.
yeah.
And talk to
because
you.
like they wouldn't just
I
let,
wasn't always a knitter.
yeah, they wouldn't just let anybody come talk to us because
Yeah.
that could be a problem.
Yeah.
So obviously the good behavior people were the ones that talked to us.
To give free reign for the
But
prisoners to
dude,
talk to the children. Yeah,
This
that
was
could be.
crazy. Like, I don't remember what grade I was in. It might have been 7th. It might have been 6th. But
Good God.
at one point, this woman was like, I put my baby in the microwave. and that's why I'm here.
Good
And we're all just sitting here like,
God.
Did you not think that there was a meeting beforehand when they're picking the people who would speak to the kids? Be like, all right, raise your hand if you don't have any kid-related stuff.
dude, someone at some nun or sister or brother or father or whatever was like, yeah, these are the stories they need to hear. Like they pre-screen these stories.
These
they
are
had
the sixth graders who are most likely to put a
baby in the microwave.
Hey, Mike, real quick. What's the sound you guys use for when I'm tasting my throw up a little bit?
Oh, that's just, you're going to want to put your throat real close to the microphone. Yep, that's the one.
That's good.
That's the
No, but like, so anyway, that was just an example of one of the speakers, and so
That's horrible. Thanks for that.
they
Steve.
all came out and said all this shit and scared the shit out of us,
This
and then
is a dynamic banter.
and
Oh,
then
wow.
and
It
then
is
we
dynamic.
went outside to like group up with like
That
some
tracks.
with some of the inmates where we could like kind of like get to know them.
Play hopscotch.
It was so crazy. We went out
normal
yeah,
murderers.
really, yeah,
What'd you say?
Play hopscotch.
yeah. Just play some
Hey
quick
guys, it's time
hopscotch.
for some one-on-one.
I love the idea of just them
one-on-one with
blasting you in
criminals.
tetherball. Just like,
Poe, like knocking us the
oh,
fuck
oh
out.
God, okay.
But
Wow,
no, we
really dark story.
We no. So we went out we went outside where they like play basketball and probably eat and whatever.
Yep.
And
They make him eat outside.
so I got assigned to this like younger Mexican gentleman covered in tattoos, and there were like about 6 of us, and he was kind of like our guy, and we were just talking to each other, and he was like, you guys gotta like stay in school, man. He was just telling us like really like motivational shit.
Sure.
And then he told us how to make a shank out of a potato chip bag.
A bag?
A
potato
bag.
chip bag?
He said, you know those like little like those tiny like he's like, your mom probably packs them in your lunches, right? And
You
we
could
were
have like 4 shanks on you right
Dude,
now that
he
you
sh-
could even give me if you
he
want.
told us how to do it.
How on earth would you
How
make
do you
it?
do
Okay,
it?
so you
enough?
take the bag and
Roll
you
that
just
up.
roll. You take
Yeah.
a corner and then you fold it over. You take a corner and you fold it over. You keep folding it over until you have a handle, and then you eventually get down to the last point of the chip bag, and with the thick enough handle that you've made out of folding the bag over, you now have like a really pointy end for the chip. And if you use enough force
If you're
and
on
stab
a
in the
supple
same
part of the body.
yeah, and if you go to like you got to go to a
Wow.
part of the body where it's squishy.
Wow.
You know what's kind of sweet about that?
Are you
It's like,
kidding me,
That
Lee?
was the thing he was teaching. Like, you guys probably, there was a lull in the
Yeah.
conversation. He was like, gotta
Stay in
teach
school,
these
guys.
kids.
I do
something.
like. I do like
What else?
that.
What else?
He's like,
Let's see, yeah.
Potato chips. He has like,
What I like about his presentation is that moment in the movie when it's like one guy standing on a stage talking, and there's one person in the audience just watching, and then more and more people start casually walking up, and then he gets to the potato bag part, and it's like
Just
a
like
crowd
a
of
whole
1,000
crowd.
people, like potato bag.
and at the end, he's like, and that's how you make a shank. Probably shouldn't have done that.
You know, I feel this was a mistake.
Hey,
This was a
can
mistake.
let me take the notes you took down. Let me.
Because you can also make a shank out of these
Did you write
notes.
down the corner over corner part? Yeah, okay.
Can we imagine this guy doing this in a TED Talk environment?
with one of the
I
microphones.
love that.
Potato chips.
Criminal TED Talks. How to make a shank
We're
out
all
of potato
familiar
chips.
with the salty treat, but what if there was something more you could do? Just its packaging.
I feel like that's gonna be like. That leads me to my next question. How many of you have potato chips?
You know what's funny?
95% of people eat potato
Let's
chips.
see some hands. Who likes potato chips? Okay, second question. Who hates someone real bad?
100%. 100%. That's what I thought.
It's important that at some point in this conversation we say, don't do any
Don't do
of this.
this.
Also, though, if you do want to sponsor Dynamic Banter Frito Lays, here's
There's
a plug.
other things you could do
Here's
with
an
the bag.
opportunity.
You can
Okay.
turn them into a race car. We used to do that.
You know what we did?
You can't turn them into a race car.
Yeah.
You know what we did? We turned them inside out, and that reflective material would scare off the birds.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
good.
what we did.
That sounds like an
Put it on a
off-the-grid
fence
hippie
post.
thing.
No, it's
Yeah.
it's a white trash thing.
It's a white trash thing. Okay, well, that was my nice way of
Turn
saying
out
it.
their backside, you take that potato chip bag, you
What
turn
you
it inside
gonna
out.
wanna do?
Get them birds out of the yard with
I
that
like
inside
the
out
birds.
potato chip
I'll tell you
bag.
what, there's some birds don't like the sun.
Ain't
I
there
think
nothing
we
to
can
do.
just a
all
fact.
agree.
You wearing like mittens.
Just a fact.
There's a bird problem.
It's a fact.
It's just a fact. You know, you reflect a little light in a bird's eye, they're going to be terrified.
Them's there landing on the scarecrow. It ain't working.
Two ways to get rid of birds with a potato chip.
Let
Basically.
me ask you this. You guys ever had a flashlight turned on right in your eye? Now imagine being a bird.
Why don't you like the birds around your property?
Tell you what, they keep my damn guava. They eat my avocados. I tell you what,
sitting there judging me.
I got me a
judging,
pumpkin patch and they
man.
making
I don't
holes
need
in
no
all my
birds
Oh,
in their
just 'cause I
damn
can't
birds.
fly.
They're fast.
Just 'cause I can't fly.
You what, they
Fair weather
mocking me,
bird.
they make those squawking sounds in the morning.